The Steppe Nomads, The History of the Different Nomadic Groups and Their Raids into Europe. Written by Charles River Editors. Narrated by Bill Caufield. Introduction. In a world fascinated by men like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan is one of history's greatest and most famous conquerors. No man, before or since, has ever started with so little and gone on to achieve so much. From a noble family but raised in poverty that drove him to the brink of starvation, Genghis Khan rose to control the second largest empire the world has ever known, the largest being arguably the British Empire of the 18th and 19th centuries, and easily the largest empire conquered by a single man. And while many empires disintegrate upon the death of an emperor, like Alexander the Great's, Genghis Khan's empire endured and was actually enlarged by his successors, who went on to establish dynasties that in some cases lasted for centuries. Though history is usually written by the victors, the lack of a particularly strong writing tradition from the Mongols ensured that history was largely written by those who they vanquished. Because of this, their portrayal in the West and the Middle East has been extraordinarily, and in many ways unfairly, negative for centuries, at least until recent revisions to the historical record. The Mongols have long been depicted as wild horse archers galloping out of the dawn to rape, pillage, murder, and enslave. But the Mongol army was a highly sophisticated, minutely organized, and incredibly adaptive and innovative institution, as witnessed by the fact that it was successful in conquering enemies who employed completely different weaponry and different styles of fighting, from Chinese armored infantry to Middle Eastern camel cavalry and Western knights and men-at-arms. Likewise, the infrastructure and administrative core which governed the empire, though largely borrowed from the Chinese, was inventive, practical, and extraordinarily modern and efficient. This was no fly-by-night enterprise, but a sophisticated, complex, and extremely well-oiled machine. While the Golden Horde technically refers to part of the Mongol Empire, today the Golden Horde is often used interchangeably with the Mongol forces as a whole. As such, the Golden Horde conjures vivid images of savage, barbarian horsemen riding across the steppes, an unstoppable force mindlessly slaughtering and burning. It is often imagined that they conquered by sheer brutality and terror, and that they epitomized everything that came from the East, uncivilized, brutal, and undisciplined. This sensationalized image, impressed upon the West by Hollywood and by the perception of the yellow peril that has colored Western views toward Asia for a long time, began almost from the beginning. The Mongols treasured art and literature.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?